live. It's been a while. I'm really sorry. Full disclosure, as you all know, one of my last lives, my now 16-month-old had dumped my phone in the toilet, and then she had dropped it on the pool deck. So in like 1 week, I'd had the phone for 3 years, and in 1 week, my phone went from being totally fine and workable to a hot mess. And then I finally got the new iPhone, and then it was like election week, which was insane. And if you're a Daily Wire fan, then you saw me at Daily Wire. And by the way, Daily Wire team did a kick butt job on the election coverage. And it wasn't just us on screen, it was the war room, it was the data gatherers, it was the graphics department, and all of the production team behind the scenes. And we worked really hard and prepped a lot. So it like wasn't just election day, it was like 5 days of my life, 12 hours in the studio. So shout out to my mother-in-law and my husband for helping out with the girls so I could go do that. And it was a lot of fun. And it was also bittersweet because it was kind of like the last hurrah before all of the team that moved to Nashville went to Nashville. And I love them and miss them dearly and hope to get to Nashville soon to visit some people and check out the new headquarters. I'll just invite myself down there. And anyway, sorry for like the super long-winded update, but I feel like I haven't spoken to you guys in a really long time. And in addition to that, right after Election Day, literally the next day, I started with the Washington Examiner, and so glad to be part of the team over there. The inaugural episode of the Washington Examiner Newsmaker series with me, host me, which is kind of funny to see my name on the graphic, which was lots of fun. And the interview was with Janice Dean, which is also on my YouTube channel and the Washington Examiner pages, so be sure to subscribe to them as well. We're doing those weekly at a minimum, and next week I have some really exciting guests lined up who you probably also follow on social media, who you may have seen on cable news a few times, who may or may not have an Instagram filter. So there's a clue there. But today I really wanted to talk to you guys about something I've been thinking about a lot, as the Krause House has decided to stay in LA for now. I did a Insta story AMA, and a lot of people were asking, are you leaving? No, we are not leaving. And I'm going to repeat what I keep telling people is that we're not going to flee in fear, but we're not going to stay because of pride. For now, we feel like our family is called to LA. We've always been open for something different and new should the task of our lives kind of shift and change. But for now, we're here. And it's been really encouraging to talk to other people and meet other people that are called to bless this city, that are called to serve here, that are called to have businesses and work here and live here. And I think that that's a good thing. And I'm like, yes, stay and fight. And so also this month, I've been researching a lot and did a piece for American Consequences. Y'all, it was like the longest piece I've ever written. It was 2,200 words. And I researched a lot. All my lawyer friends are like, really? We write briefs that are 12 times longer than that. But good for you guys. Maybe that's why Ben types so fast, because of law school. And also, he's just a robot. But it was a very long piece for me to write, and a lot of research and work went into it, and I'll be sure to link it below. And I appreciate American Consequences for asking me to write this piece. And it was about corporate cancel culture, which hasn't just been something that we saw this year with the Black Lives Matter movement and the rallies and protests and riots. But it's been something that's been, I think, in culture since the Obama administration ended up having a social media kind of czar, is what they called this person, because they saw the ability to use social media to impact cultural and political change. And then that's where we got the phrase like couch warriors, social justice warriors, that were people on social media that were saying hashtag bring back our girls and feeling better about themselves, even though maybe they never did anything to actually change the policy or to go after Boko Haram in real life, right? And so I think that social media can be such an important tool, and corporations can potentially have a huge impact on culture and politics should they see fit. And because of my appreciation and admiration for the First Amendment and what it means for all of us, I'm okay if Nike ends up hiring Colin Kaepernick. But I also think it's okay for me to criticize them hiring Colin Kaepernick. And when I was researching this piece, it was very interesting to see how oftentimes it's a very small group of people who are very loud and vitriolic and hateful and mean that go after what the majority actually thinks. And it became very clear in like AMAs that I've done and DMs that I get from people, and whether they're kids on college campuses at YAF events or old ladies at a Republican event in Long Beach, California, how many people feel so alone. And so this, I just want to be like a pep talk for you guys. It's also kind of a pep talk for myself sometimes, because being a conservative in a lot of the world today, especially in those metropolitan areas, like people in tech and people in social media and people in fashion and entertainment and design and education, hello, even if you don't consider yourself a conservative, I'm hearing from liberal followers that are like, I think I'm more classically liberal, but I can't say anything about teachers' unions not seeming to represent children right now, because then people will say that I'm like a crazy right-winger that's a COVID denier. And I just wanted to give you guys like a heads up that you are not alone. And I know that it can be super hard to feel like you are the lone person trudging through. But whether you are a stay-at-home mom or a teacher that's like rebuffing against the union stupidity, or a doctor that's looking at the scientific facts of COVID, like God bless the pediatricians that aren't out there fear-mongering, or somebody in the entertainment industry that legitimately cannot speak up, or you'll be lambasted publicly and privately and truly blacklisted. There are other people out there like you, and I don't know any much more that I can do other than say hang in there, and I'm here for you. And I think that you are necessary. I think that you are needed, and I think that we all need to really focus on, as a person of faith, I think that I have to kind of center myself every day and be like, what is my purpose? What I'm doing right now is not what I 100% envisioned my life looking like for 2020, but I think that's all of us, right? I didn't imagine myself being a homeschool mom with 4 girls at home, stuck at home and not able to travel the country with my baby and speak at college campuses, or I never imagined not going into a TV studio anymore. That's so weird. I'm sitting in a corner of my husband's office that he's so nicely allocated for me to use for the Washington Examiner, Newsmax, and TV hits and stuff. And I know that everyone's life is so different and in a way isolated right now. But my encouragement to all of you conservatives out there, especially all of you closet conservatives out there, is you are not isolated, and there are places for you to hopefully find community. And I think social media is one of them. If you're a Lady Brains listener, we're here for you. If you're a Daily Wire fan, we're here for you. Ricochet is a great outlet. Washington Examiner is a great outlet. And I think that, I really, and another thing that bothers me too, is this targeted just ignoring of successful, excuse my French, badass conservative women. I mean, look at all these incredible Republican women that are heading to Congress that are never going to get a glossy magazine cover like AOC did, even though she wasn't the original youngest female to head to Congress. A woman by the name of Elise Stefanik was the first person to do it in upstate New York. I don't remember her being on the cover of Marie Claire or People magazine, or getting all dressed up and Rent the Runway, which you all know I am a fan of, and a designer dud, and going on The View for an entire hour. And so to the women headed to Congress, and to other women considering running for office, and to the moms and the small business owners that have been screwed by your city and local governments, I just hang in there, because you don't have to be President of the United States to make a difference. You can be on your city council or your school board, or own a small business, or homeschool your 4 kids, or volunteer at your church and make a difference. And in those places, you are going to be able to find other people that are like you, that believe the same things as you, that prioritize the same things as you. And if you feel like you haven't found them yet, then I will do my very best to encourage you and connect you to those that I'm aware of. And this is a safe space. And you're important, your viewpoint is important, your individuality is beautiful and wonderful. And I think my hope for the conservative movement going forward is how we are growing the base of those wonderful individuals that make America an incredible melting pot. So that's my Saturday morning thoughts. And I'm sorry I just like ramble randomly. I do not have a teleprompter. I'm just staring at myself that needs more makeup on in this iPhone. And I appreciate you guys, and I hope that you had time with family and friends this Thanksgiving weekend. I'm gonna go hang out at the beach now.